Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome to the Season of Encouragement Week 1. It's all about metals, pencils, and your favorite supplies and techniques. I love working in abstract, and this is what I'll be using for this week. Acrylic paints, Payne's gray, and this turquoise color. For metal, I love using metallic paint, also acrylic paint. I pulled out acrylic markers. I have a couple of pencils. One's a Prismacolor in yellow, and the other is just a mechanical pencil. Makeup sponge. I also have a catalyst tool there, and actually I'll be using a gift card to spread the paint. A skewer. I already said the makeup sponge, and that is for the stencils. So I've pulled a few here, and I'm looking at designs that have a nice opening, if you will. And so that's what I've pulled. Let's get started. I thought I'd begin by writing down some thoughts about encouragement, what it means to me, things that I need to hear right now. And so I am just going to start with this yellow pencil. I don't want anything legible. I just want to do a brain dump and write all the thoughts. So follow along, and I will speed it up because it's a lot of writing. And secondly, the table shakes, so you can't tell that much when it's fast forwarded. So here we go. And of course, now it's time to cover up and get some paint down. And as I'm watching this and doing the voiceover, I'm kind of surprised that I started with Payne's gray. It has me thinking that it's going dark to light. Yeah, and that's a theme that's been resonating with me a lot these days. Anyway, so I'm just putting down the paint with the gift card. And while a lot of us, when we think of abstraction work, that it's just willy-nilly and you just slap things down, that is true. But I want to say from the onset that I am very mindful of where I'm putting the paint throughout this process, and I am at the same time letting go. So I wanted to make sure that each layer is dry before moving forward, and with the next turquoise color I decided to use the skewer. So I'm getting a good amount of paint on the tip of the skewer, and I love this step because it's so freeing. Again, you don't have control, quote unquote, but with each movement, there's I don't know, you just have to try it. I love how, you think you're in control of it. You are to a little degree, but then you get these wonderful marks down. And again, being mindful of where that paint ends up, the lines that you create, and it is a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. And just go with it. If you find it uncomfortable to work with the long skewer, just break it in half. Okay, I think we're done. Let's let this dry completely before we go on to the next step. And for this application, I want to use a stencil. I don't want to use the whole stencil. I'm going to use parts of it throughout both pages. And a little tip with your applicator, whether you use a sponge, makeup sponge or a brush, is to go ahead and load it up with a little more paint than you would normally use, because the metallics can just kind of soak into the background, and you'll know how much to use. It's easier to wipe off perhaps than to add, but that's just my experience with it. So I will have you watch and see where I apply it, and we'll continue on. Make sure you let this dry when you're done. Okay, now that that's dry and I'm taking a look at this, it is still very dark, and it's also an opportunity to add more layers. So I've pulled this color, and let's see, what color is that? Bright aqua green, and I'm being very deliberate as to its placement. I start by putting it on top of that deep turquoise, and I like what I see here. So it's already brightening things up, and I will continue to do that rather than go all over the place. Again, I'm just being very particular as to where to put these little bright spots, if you will. Okay, I like where this is going, and now I want to introduce another shape. I'm going to work with circles and white. Let's bring back some white. I wish I could tell you where I got the stencil. I mean, who manufactured it. I got it at a scrapbook store. I love how the circles are all different. So I'm going to apply this, I'm going to use a stencil with white acrylic paint, but I want to, well, you'll see. I don't make them, I'm not out for perfect rounds, but anyway, take a look and I'll show you what I do here. Okay, so this is good. You can still see the gold. There's a lot of shimmer there. And so the circles are there. And what I want to do next, even though it's dry, I'm pushing the paint into the background using my brayer. Again, it's dry, but I don't know. I just do that when I don't want anything predominantly on top. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, you can always skip that part of it. So I want to play a little bit with the pens. I don't do a lot of that kind of detail work, so I'm just going to go for it. But I first want to show you this thing that's really interesting. So, okay, these two are labeled the same color of gold, but I discovered something when I was playing with them, and that is it's always good to test your pens, especially if you've had these for years and don't know what's going on. So there's the first one, and as you can see, it's a very rich, deep gold. Here's the other one, same chisel tip, but it's lighter. So yeah, you can see there's a difference there. And I decide to use both instead of one or the other, and so that's what's coming up next. Actually, before I work with the gold markers, I decided to pull my Stabilo All and just enhance those circles with some scribbles, just a few of them, well, more than a few. Anyway, I don't plan to activate the pencil. I just want to have a little bit of that underneath.
beginning. Called it. I knew that the right to be nice.
Okay, so I'm going to let this dry and think about the next steps to complete these pages. So in the next segment, I'll walk you through my thoughts, and that will be it. All right, stay tuned.
Every day is gonna play out the same. Hey, I love you better today than
And here it is. It's quite different, isn't it? So again, let me walk through what I did to finish it off. I needed to bring in more contrast, so it was time to bring back the Payne's Gray. And again, I put it in, I was very intentional about where I wanted that color to be. Then I brought in that wheat stencil and applied it just sparingly on both pages, and I really like how that made things pop. And then also from Dee Catron and UmWowStudio are these new gold foiled X's, and I was really happy to be able to use one, and I found this little quote sentiment by Tim Holtz. And when I think of encouragement, this really helps me out. And to trust my intuition is something that I really cherish. I think we should all listen to what we feel is true, and that helps you. It helps you through whatever you're going through. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and glad that you stuck with me to see how it all came together. And if you do try it, be sure to tag me, tag Claudette, and we always love seeing what you do with these prompts. So until next week, take care and stay creative. Bye.
I love you better today than yesterday. It's gonna play out the same. It's gonna play out the same. It's gonna play out the same. Better than yesterday. Love you more today. It's gonna play out the same.